what's up guys? Frank Fulci back again with another video. This time it is not a haul or unboxing video, but a special upload video, whatever. I'm already fucking losing my words of Q&A that I promised you guys in the last week or so. So before I jump into all this stuff, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to get notified of future uploads so you don't miss out on my special videos like this, or of course my weekly haul videos. So like I said, I welcome, first of all, guys. I always forget this welcome after I go on my fucking introductory spiel. So welcome to everybody, new subscriber, old subscriber, non-subscriber, whatever you are, or whatever umbrella you fall under, welcome to the channel, guys. In my not my last haul video, because I just got done filming a new video which you'll be seeing soon. I don't know when this video is going up, maybe on Wednesday, but it is Sunday right now, so I did just film my haul for the week, and that'll be going up shortly. But in last week's haul video, I had mentioned, you know, I was thinking of doing a Q&A video, and I didn't really give it too much thought, but I got some good questions, so I figured I'll make a separate video here and let you guys learn a little bit about me. Like I said in my haul video, when I mentioned this, I'm a pretty open book anyway, so you guys probably know decent enough about me already, but there's some good questions here, so we can dive into them. I think I got it from about 5 or 6 people. I have notes here in front of me on my laptop, so if I keep looking down, that's why. So let's just jump into it. I don't know if you guys are going to be surprised by my answers or not, and I don't think they're going to be too thought-provoking, honestly, but let's get into it and I'll see how you guys feel about it. First question, or set of questions rather, comes from Pop Culture Massacre, aka my buddy Mason from YouTube. He has his own channel, so make sure you check him out, but he's got some good ones. These are good. These made me think a little bit. Now again, I don't know if he's gonna appreciate these answers or if he's gonna just think they're dumb, but whatever. So the first question is, you're on a desert island alone for a year, but you have a TV and a Blu-ray player. You can only have 2 movies and 1 TV series. What do you bring? Now this one's a hard one, and I think it goes along the lines of when people ask me, what's your favorite movie ever, or what's your favorite horror movie ever? And I don't really ever have an answer for favorite. Is there a movie that I can't live without? Not really, but my go-to answers for that question, and they'll be for this as well, are Devil's Rejects, of course, directed by Rob Zombie, and I Spit on Your Grave, the remake, the 2010 remake. For whatever reason, Devil's Rejects, when that came out, I think I was around 17, 18, something like that. And I fucking loved that movie so much, and I don't know if it was just the age I was at, but I thought that movie was perfection. Now, I haven't seen it in a couple years, but I can imagine that I would still love it. I saw it probably 20 times around the time it came out. I think everything from the soundtrack of like the classic rock and stuff, everything from the soundtrack to the gore, to the acting, to the casting, you know, Bill Moseley, Sid Haig, Sherry Moon, a bunch of people. Again, a lot of Rob Zombie's films to me are cringeworthy. Like the dialogue in the fucking Halloween 1 and 2, I thought was the worst fucking thing ever. I'm not the biggest fan of House of a Thousand Corpses. I did like a lot 3 from Hell, but it wasn't Devil's Rejects. So to me, his greatest film ever will always be Devil's Rejects. So that's got to be one of my answers and one of the movies I'm bringing with me. And again, the 2010 I Spit on Your Grave. Now, those movie, or any rape revenge movie in general, is not for everyone. I understand why. The subject matter is not the greatest not the easiest to be comfortable with. But in terms of the acting, the casting, the production quality of that movie, I mean, it's light years ahead of the original. Just the rawness of the fucking what it's about, and again, the revenge that this woman gets afterwards, I mean, it's just incredible. The stuff that, if you guys haven't seen the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, you need to do that right now. And as far as TV show, this one is kind of a nostalgia answer and a mix of, you know, I can never get sick of it. And I say The Twilight Zone. If I'm cheating a little bit, I would say every iteration of The Twilight Zone, just so I have more to watch on this fucking island. But if it has to be just one, I would obviously go with the original. It's something that I don't think I've ever seen all of the episodes because there's so many. Now, I do have a box set of it, and technically I could just watch from start to end and I would have seen them all, but they're ones that even that I have seen 5, 10, 15 times, I still don't get sick of them. So again, it's a nostalgia thing. You know, there's a marathon every New Year's Eve on like Sci-Fi Channel, or New Year's Day, whatever it is, 24-hour marathon on Twilight Zone, and I always have that on randomly throughout the day. And again, sometimes I see new episodes I've never seen before, and other times it's ones I've seen, you know, dozens of times, and it's still just as good. So those are my answers for that. Mason also asked, if you could have dinner with any celebrity, who would you choose? And it has to be a living person. Now, my go-to for this originally was, some sexy horror actress that I have a crush on, but let's be real, guys. This is not going to be a romantic thing, because what the hell chances do I have to get with one of these actresses? So my initial answer was going to be like a Samara Weaving or something like that, one of these young, awesome actresses. But more reality-based, as reality-based as you can get with something like this, is I figure somebody like Kane Hodder would be fucking awesome, because after seeing this documentary, To Hell and Back, that came out, I think it was either 2019 or 2020. No, it definitely wasn't 2020. I think it was a 2018 or 2019 documentary. After just like seeing more about his life, and I always knew Kane Hodder was a cool guy just from people's stories and things like that. I've never met him in person myself, but I know Dustin, you know, Ron Roger from 3B Video and Evil, they've met him a bunch of times in real life. They love him. But again, you always hear good things, and I know he's awesome as an actor, a stuntman, all these things, but I just want to sit down with Kane Hodder, the person, and have a dinner with him. So that's my answer for that. And then, if you could remake any movie and star in it, what would it be? Who would you play? And he said, pretend you're a great actor. So I'm not a great actor by any means. So if I had to pretend that, again, my answer for this is kind of boring. I would say one of the Friday the 13th sequels. Now I would say Friday the 13th, but who am I going to play? Pamela Voorhees. So I want to play a big hulking guy. Now I'm not big. I guess I'm decently built, like muscle-wise, but I'm short. I'm fucking 5'8" if I'm lucky. But I want to play some sort of brooding slasher guy. Again, you don't really necessarily have to even be a great actor, because you can have a mask, you can have disfigurement, you can have makeup, whatever the case. So that's my boring ass answer, Mason. I want to do either a Friday the 13th sequel, like a remake of it, or, you know, a new sequel, whatever. Although you did specifically ask for a remake. Or if it's not a Friday the 13th, some other slasher that hasn't been remade. I don't know, maybe a remake of the Victor Crowley fucking series or something, like, you know, the Hatchets from Adam Green, and I can play Kane's character. Or, I don't know, Prowler remake, even though there was no big brooding fucking killer in that one. But I don't know, some sort of slasher with a big brooding guy, and I can be the fucking villain. Anyway, the next question comes from Julie, STL. Julie asks, what got you into horror and physical media collecting? And she said she's interested in hearing a Frank Fulci origin story. So what got me into horror and physical media collecting? I think I might have touched on this on a past video, but I was scared of everything as a child. I literally had nightmares all the time. From what I remember, it was every night, but I'm sure it wasn't every night. I used to get so scared that my older sister and her friends, like when she would have sleepovers, they would hear me being scared or yelling or whatever the fuck I was doing in my sleep, and they would come and line up a bunch of my stuffed animals around my bed, literally around the whole perimeter of my bed, and be like, all right, you can't be scared now because you're protected by all your friends or whatever. So that always made me feel comfortable. But I was a scaredy ass cat as a kid, and I had a My Buddy doll, which I loved, but he reminded me of Chucky, so I loved him and hated him at the same time. And I don't even know how I knew of Chucky, maybe from commercials or something at the time, because we were not watching that stuff in my house. I was watching fucking Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, cartoons, things like that. So I was scared of everything. Up until about age probably, 13 or so, me and my older sister, the same one, we decided like, oh, let's go to, the video rental store when that was still a thing, and just get into a horror franchise and just start renting them a couple at a time. So we decided to pick up the first two Friday the 13th movies, and, two at a time, watched them, brought them back, got the next two, so on and so forth. And it was great. I fucking loved that I was watching it with my sister, so it wasn't just me alone, although it got a little awkward at times with all the nudity and stuff in those movies. But other than that, that's what really got me into horror. I was like, wow, this stuff isn't so bad. In fact, I fucking love it. And then I would start renting movies with my friends, Texas Chainsaw, all the classics, everything we can get our hands on at the video store. And a lot of times we were too young to rent them, so we had to have one of my buddy's moms call and say it was okay to rent it, or show some sort of proof of age by showing them. I remember one time we showed them our fucking homework from school because we had our backpack, so they wanted to see an ID, so we showed them our name on one of our homework assignments or some shit. So fucking wild. But that's what really got me into horror in general. But then collecting, She asked, and what and physical media collecting? I've always been a collector of all kinds. When I was younger, again, I didn't have the money of my own, but when I was like real young, I would want every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure I can own. Again, my mom was buying them, so I didn't have that many. Or, you know, every Power Ranger figure. After that, it was wrestling figures, which I just started collecting again recently. But I've always just been a collector. Now, part of it is, I think, and it's gonna sound weird, a genetic disorder, maybe? Like, my parents are hoarders. Like, there's no way around it. They're not dead cats in the fucking living room hoarders, but they have a lot of stuff, and it's hard for them to get rid of stuff if they ever do. I'm the same way. I'm collector, borderline hoarder. I don't have a problem getting rid of stuff that's, you know, if I have an empty box, I can get rid of an empty box. If I have trash, it's trash. I don't keep shit around. But in terms of collecting stuff, I keep a lot of things, clearly. So the fact that I'm still living at home in my own room, like, I have only so much space. So if you were to come in here, you'd be like, this kid's a fucking hoarder. If I had my own house and this was set up perfectly as a movie room, it would be fucking amazing. It would be amazing collection and alphabetical order and all that shit. But in terms of going back to the question of why I started collecting horror, because I love horror and I've always been a collector of things. I have a bunch of wrestling DVDs. I collect those too. I have a bunch of video games, although I haven't touched a video game in over a year. I have a Funko Pop collection. I have these NECA Ultimate collections. I collect things in general. It just so happens to be that physical media is one of my passions. So I don't know if that fully answered your question, Julie, but hopefully it did. Next up, guys, we have a question from Scary Bear 13. This is kind of shifting gears. He says, what kind of diet workouts do you do to keep fit? Now, I've been working out since I was 13 years old, so officially 20 years now. I was always a chubby ass kid back then, but so I wanted to lean out, get big. I've never leaned out. In my mind at least anyway, I've always been a fat bastard. Again, it's another mental issue I have, but it's a body image issue, of course. But what do I do to stay fit and what my diet is? My diet is another thing that's really boring. Like, if I find something that works, I stick with it because, not that I'm lazy, but if I know something works, I'm not gonna mess with it. So, and I don't have a problem doing the same thing over and over and over again. So, a couple of years ago, I went from 220 pounds to 177 pounds. So, you know, 40 plus pounds lost. And what I was doing literally was 5 nights a week, salmon every night for dinner. Every day for lunch, I was eating broiled chicken and fucking salad. You know, nothing too crazy in it. Obviously salad dressing. I would throw some almonds and you know, walnuts, cranberries, feta cheese, whatever. Salads and chicken for lunch every day. Eggs for breakfast every fucking day. 2 whole eggs, 2 additional egg whites, maybe 1 single piece of toast if I treated myself. I was basically, I don't want to say starving myself, because I was eating 3 meals a day with, you know, protein shakes in between, pre-workout shakes, things like that. But my caloric intake was around 1600, 1700, which is extremely low. I don't recommend that for anyone, or at least anyone who is trying to be as active as me. The thing is, for me to lose weight, and I've had thyroid tests, I've had all sorts of tests done, for me to lose weight for whatever reason is extremely difficult. Just because I've always been a bigger guy. Again, I've always just been heavier, hold a lot of fat in certain places, but I have to do these things drastically. So to gain weight, if I want to gain weight, it has to be drastic in the other direction. I got to do 3,000-4,000 calories. Unless I'm not trying to gain weight, it just happens to come on. Odd how that goes. But so that's my diet. Again, now I lost a couple pounds this week. I'm starting to really cut back again. So again, back to eggs in the morning. Some days I do like a fiber cereal just because I'm fucking sick of eggs for 20 years. But I haven't been doing the fish at night, but I'll do like a lean, you know, just a burger and like a vegetable on the side, like a zucchini or something. Again, very boring. And when I find something that works and I get results from it, I keep it up. As far as the workout routine itself, now I fucked up my back a few weeks ago. I mentioned it. My back is literally still messed up like 7-8 weeks later. It's not going to be good until I either get more injections into my spine, which I've done in the past, or I have a surgery. I'm not planning to do either one of those anytime soon. So my workout routine at the moment is just every other day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll do like an hour. I'll do 40-45 minutes of weight training and like 15-20 minutes of cardio, and that's it. And that's 3 times a week. And now I've always done bodybuilding style workouts, heavy weights, a lot of reps, When I was younger, I was trying to be a power lifter as well, so I was a power builder, you know, a hybrid of powerlifting and bodybuilding. So heavy ass weights, a lot of reps, and, you know, trying to stay on diet. But I was like 230 pounds, bloated as fuck. But I was strong. I was, you know, leg pressing 2,300 pounds, squatting 500, deadlift 500, benching 400. I've always been a pretty strong guy. Now, weak as shit, but still pretty muscular. But again, Paul, I'm not sure if these answered your question. Hopefully it did. I don't know if it gave you any advice or any kind, if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, boring answers. I eat the same shit every day pretty much. Work out best I can, as hard as I can, as often as I can, basically. Now, next questions come from Amateur Filmies. They have their own channel and they just hit 1,000 and they just got engaged. So congratulations to those guys, Matt and Sarah. I love those guys. Every time I get a comment on one of my videos, I get fucking extra giddy just because I think they're great people and I love their videos and I love their content. And, you know, go follow them on YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. Anyway, Matt asked, what are some films that are only available on DVD or otherwise that you would love to get the Blu-ray treatment from a company like Arrow, Scream Factory, etc.? This is going to be another boring type of answer. Actually, maybe not boring, but not what he maybe expected. He had named a couple of movies like Taxidermia and some other movie that I never even heard of. And I feel like Matt and Sarah's tastes are much more, I always use this word, sophisticated than mine. I'm not some film historian. I don't know these obscure movies that are buried in vaults somewhere that nobody else knows about. I know about shit when they come out. I don't research things like this. I love horror and I love movies in general, but I don't sit and research and try to uncover buried treasures. So my answer is going to be weird. I had to think about this one for a little bit, and these may be weird answers or not, but just because they're in my head recently, because I've been on this kick of the Mo brothers again. So Timo Tangento, I don't know how to really say his name, but he's one of the Mo brothers, even though they're not really brothers, duo of directors. He's got a bunch of movies, and I feel like none of them are on Blu-ray. So there's Macabre, which I just revisited the other day. I have the DVD of, fucking fantastic, gory movie. There's one called Takut, which is an anthology. It also has a subtitle of Faces of Fear, but I don't know if that's an official subtitle because I think Takut means fear in Indonesian. But it's an anthology movie that literally doesn't even have a DVD as far as I can tell. I think it's just bootlegs around of that. Three Extremes is another anthology of Asian horror that I would love to see get a Blu-ray in the States from one of these awesome companies. Continuing with Timo and his movies, May the Devil Take You, which is a Netflix exclusive. We know Netflix never fucking puts stuff on Blu-ray, except for, you know, a couple of Criterion things that he did and Stranger Things. Continuing with him, another Netflix one that he did, Night Comes For Us, which is an awesome action, martial arts, fucking gore fest. Then there's one that I just realized still isn't on Blu-ray from all these years ago. I think it's a 2007-8 film, P2, which is like a Christmas horror movie I talked about in my every movie I watch in December video. That doesn't have a Blu-ray in the States, so I'd love to see that on Blu. And also one, I don't know why this came to my mind randomly, but it's a movie I've been wanting to watch forever, and it's probably not even that good. It's a movie from 2013 called The Hunted, and it's starring and directed by Josh Stewart, who was the actor in, I mean, he's been in a bunch of shit. He's been in Batman and stuff like that, but he was the main actor in the Collector movies, The Collection. So he starred and directed this movie in 2013. It's like a found footage film, supernatural, I guess. I just watched the trailer again to remind myself, but he's a hunter and him and his buddy want to make a hunting, you know, reality show, and they're in the woods and crazy shit happens. So it's a found footage movie, like I said, and I just always wanted to see that movie, and for whatever reason never picked it up because it's DVD only, even though if you guys watch my channel, you know I pick up DVDs from time to time, obviously, but for whatever reason that popped in my head, I would love to see a Blu-ray of that. So we'll see one day, maybe. Last set of questions is from Outbreak Monkey, who you guys have seen me show off CDs of his on my channel multiple times, but he says, how big is it? Your collection, that is. What do you consider your holy grail item? Well, let's do one at a time. How big is it? How big is your collection? I don't really even fucking know. I started tracking a few months ago. I started using the app CLZ Movies, and I started tracking my movies, and I was putting them all in, scanning the barcodes, and I stopped. I got bored of it, or, you know, shit is all over the place, so I couldn't really do it. But of the ones I tracked, I have 230 Arrow films, 455 Scream Factory titles, 101 Shout Select titles, 55 Criterion, 62 88 films. Of just those ones that I've tracked, that's over 900 already. That's not counting my Severance titles, my Synapse, my Unearthed Films, my Vinegar Syndrome, which is fucking huge. I have so many that I haven't tracked, and then not to mention the non-boutique stuff. So that's 900 right there. I have to say it's at least double that. I mean, it's got to be close to triple that almost. Double it easily. Double, no problem getting to 1,800. So I'll say 2,000 movies between DVDs and Blu-rays, easily 2,000. What do you consider your holy grail? This is kind of a boring answer also. I don't really have holy grail items, to be honest. Like, maybe some of the bigger box sets, like something I've always wanted, and I know we got a regular box set, but the Friday the 13th box set that came out from Scream Factory, I consider that a grail. Maybe not in value or something that no one else has, but to me that's a grail just because I love those movies and that franchise. And again, from my story earlier, it has a special place in my heart. Maybe the fucking, you know, these Hellraiser, Scarlet box sets, like a bunch of these box sets, the Sphere box set of Phantasm movies from Arrow and Well Go USA. You know, just maybe some of those bigger box sets. I don't know if there's any other items that I really consider grails, because when I buy them, I don't go in thinking like, what is the value of this? Like, they just have, I just want them. I like the movies or the franchise or the set that it comes in, and that's it. So I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question, brother, but that's it. And when did you decide to actually collect and not just casually consume? Again, kind of going back to what Julie asked, I've always been a collector. It's kind of a habit. It's kind of a disorder of some kind, like an obsession. And yeah, there's been times in the past where I've taken breaks and like I wouldn't buy a movie for, you know, close to a year. Literally, I would be too consumed doing something else or collecting something else, honestly. But yeah, I just constantly collect. Honestly, and not to make anyone feel bad or anything, it's my own fault, but I think when I started this channel, it just ramped it up tenfold, because I was like, man, I gotta have content for the channel, I gotta have stuff to show off, I gotta have new movies coming in. And when I first started this channel, it wasn't like that. I was getting movies every week anyway, but then there were some times where I was like, man, I'm not gonna have anything, I gotta have something. So that's when I started buying just for the channel. Again, it's stuff that I would buy eventually, but gotta rush into it. And you guys know as collectors that if you don't buy it right away, you lose it. Everything's limited, everything's fucking special edition, limited runs, whatever. So if you don't buy it right away, you're out of luck and you're never getting that shit unless you want to pay eBay prices. But that's it, guys. Great fucking answers. Hopefully, I mean, great questions rather. I don't know if the answers were so great. Hopefully they were. You guys let me know down below. Hopefully this is something you guys enjoyed me doing, and you sat through the whole thing, 23 minutes, 24 minutes, whatever it comes out to be. And I appreciate you guys sending in the questions. Again, if you have follow-ups or anything, hit me in the comments below. I could either do another video in the future or just answer them right there, which I usually do anyway. But figured I would try this out, something new for you guys. And yeah, like I said, hopefully you liked it. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give me that thumbs up, hit me in the comments below. And until next time, guys, peace out and be good.